I'd like everybody to turn their phones off or on vibration, please.
It's on those security is the temple secure.
Temple secure, sir.
Very well. It's on?
It's on.
It's on?
It's on.
It's on.
It's on.
All meetings are to be open and closed promptly according to Circle 7, love, true, peace, freedom, and justice. Let us all rise, please. Those of you who wish to worship with us, we ask that you stand and swear on a 45-degree angle. Extend 5 fingers to the left and to the right. Those who do not wish to worship with us, we ask that you stand in silent benediction or recite the Moorish American prayer. It's on?
It's on.
Allah?
Allah.
The Father of the universe.
The Father of the universe.
The Father of love.
The Father of love.
Truth.
Truth.
Peace.
Peace.
Freedom.
Freedom.
And justice.
And justice.
Allah is my protector.
Allah is my protector.
My God.
My God.
And my salvation.
And my salvation.
By night.
By night.
And by day.
And by day.
Through His holy prophet.
Through His holy prophet.
Through Ali.
Through Ali.
Amen.
Amen. Islam.
Once again, I rise in praise for Allah, the author, the creator, the governor of the world, almighty, eternal, and incomprehensible, master of the day of judgment, the creator of all the world, seen and unseen. I give honor to His holy divine prophet, day soft and high, known to Ali, and Allah's blessings forever be upon it. I'd like to also give a special honor to the forward prophet, Brother Marcus Mozagabi, who said, what a man is done, a man can do. Up, your mighty race. You can accomplish what you will. One God, one aim, one destiny. Give honor to the first Supreme Grand Sheikh of the Moorish Science of America, Brother E. Miliel. Give honor to the present Supreme Grand Sheikh of the Moorish Science, Supreme Grand Sheikh of the Moorish Science of America, Brother D. Belial. I give honor to our Supreme Grand Governor of the State of Maryland, Brother R. Edward Zell. I give honor to our Supreme Grand Historian, Brother D. Edson. I give honor to our Supreme Grand Security Advisor, Brother J. Barnes Bay. I give honor to our Assistant Grand Governor of the State of Maryland, Brother C. David Sale. I give honor to our Grand Sheikh of this location, Brother G. Turner L. and his assistant, Sister M. Brown Bay. I give honor to our security, our Major, Brother R. Milton L. I give honor to the sheiks of this special temple. I give honor where to honors due. I give my honor to each and every one of you. It's on?
It's on.
We'd like to begin by having a reading of the national laws of Moorish Science of America. These are divine constitution bylaws. We ask that when the laws are being read, that there be no unnecessary noise or movement. Salvation, our God, unity. The Moorish Science Temple of America Divine Constitution bylaws. Act 1. The Grand Sheikh and the Chairman of the Moorish Science Temple of America is the power to make law and enforce laws. With the assistance of the Prophet and the Grand Body of the Moorish Science Temple of America. The Assistant Grand Sheikh is to assist the Grand Sheikh in all affairs and he lives according to love, true, peace, freedom, and justice, and it is known before the members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Act 2. All meetings are to be open and closed promptly according to the Circle 7 love, true, peace, freedom, and justice. Fridays are a holy day of rest, because on the Friday the first man was formed in flesh, and on the Friday the first man departed out of flesh and ascended unto his Father God Allah. For that cause, Friday is a holy day for all Muslims all over the world. Act 3. Love, true, peace, freedom, and justice. Most people claim and practiced by all members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. No members to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion at all that may harm his brother or sister, because Allah is love. Act 4. All members must preserve these holy divine laws, and all members must obey the laws of government, because by being a Moorish American, you are a part and parcel of the government and must live the life accordingly. Act 5. This organization of the Moorish Science Temple of America is not to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws and constitution of the said government, but to obey thereby. Act 6. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and the divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and a partial of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, color folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is the new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained W. Ali the prophet to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites whom inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and a partial of all uplifting acts of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Members must pay their dues to keep alive all necessities of the More Science Temple America. Name you on time to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become a part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine comes from your holy prophet, Nabi Ali, through the guidance of his Father God Allah. Islam? Having read that body of law, we like to also read the second body of laws, also issued to us by our Prophet Nabi Ali. These are entitled Questionnaire of Additional Laws for the Moorish Americans by Prophet Nabi Ali. Act 1. Grand sheikhs and governors and heads of all temples, all businesses. Each said temple must be approved by the Prophet Nabi Ali before acting upon by any members. That be finance, property, or any line of life that will cause the members to sacrifice, finance, etc. That will cause the support of any group of members. Any former officer that violates these laws is subject to be removed from his office under heavy restriction, etc. by the Prophet or the Grand Sheikh. Act 2. All members are to attend their adult meetings and their private meetings promptly. If a member is found standing around on their meeting period, should be fined 50 cents on the first case, and on the second, he will be fined $1, which will go on your emergency fund. If a member is working, his monthly dues must be paid. And if he has money in the bank, he must subscribe for as much as he is able to the Moorish Uplifting Fund, because it takes finance to uplift the nation. Act 3. It is lawful and divine duty of every good member, if he is able to finance to aid me in saving the nation. And if he does not, he is an enemy to the cause of uplifting his own people, and justice must catch you. Let it be he or she, according to love, true peace, freedom, and justice. As I have the power invested in my hands, and I will have to enforce the law in order to save the nation. Act 4. All members who are making a public speech must not use any assertion against the American flag or speak radical against the church or any member of any organized group, because we are to teach love, true peace, freedom, and justice. Act 5. All members must promptly attend their meetings and send their children to Sunday school, and the teacher must confirm himself to the questionnaire. And let every member exercise his 5 senses who is able to do so, because out from your Sunday school comes the guidance of the nation. Act 6. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and the divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and partial of this state government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians. Because these names were given to slaves by slave holders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national land to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Nabi Ali the prophet to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and a partial of all uplifting acts of the More Science Temple. Members must pay their dues to keep alive all necessities of the More Science Temple. Then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters, you must obey father and mother and be industrious and become part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine coming from your holy prophet, Nabi Ali, through the guidance of his Father God Allah. Islam? Having read both bodies of laws issued to us by the Prophet Nabi Ali, I'd like to now turn to our Moorish Holy Quran. The Holy Quran of Moorish Science Temple America, Circle 7. Divinely prepared by the noble Prophet Ali, by the guidance of his Father God Allah, the great God of the universe, to redeem man from his sinful and fallen state of humanity back to the highest plane of life with his Father God Allah. I'd like to now turn to page 3 to declare my intentions. Know thyself now, Father God Allah. Dear readers, do not falsely use these lessons. They are for good peace and happiness for all those that love Jesus. Dear mothers, teach these lessons to your little ones, that they may learn to love instead of hate. Dear fathers, by these lessons you can set your house in order, and your children learn to love instead of to hate. I'd like to now turn to this week's chapter. Very, very timely chapter. this chapter 25, it kind of encapsulates or embodies what had come before. And that is chapter 20, that speaks to the inexperienced man as it lends itself to, or as he lends himself to, relationships. The chapter is entitled Holy Instruction and Warnings for All Young Men. But we know this chapter is not simply speaking to the chronologically young man. It's talking about any man that's inexperienced in this area of life. And then the chapter moves on to chapter 21. Marriage instructions for man and wife from the noble prophet. So the prophet assumes that this young man, he grows up to indeed become a man with all the duties and the responsibilities attendant to that station of manhood. And he takes upon himself a wife, and they start a family. And then the prophet moves on to chapter 22, the duty of a husband. And in this chapter, he delineates, he lays out for us the duties of the criteria of what makes a husband a husband, and the kind of relationship that this man should have with his wife. And then the prophet moves on to chapter 23, holy instructions for their children. In other words, this man and this woman, this husband and this wife, now they have started a family. And the prophet says, understand the charge that they have. He says, consider thou art a parent. Consider the importance of your trust. And here it teaches the husband and the wife, the mother and the father, the 12 steps to inculcate, to instill within their children so that they can grow up to be mighty men and mighty women.
That's right.
And then he moves on to chapter 24, talking about filial love. In other words, the relationship that we should have, the regard that we should have for our mother and our father. The prophet says, be grateful to thy father, for he gave thee life, and to thy mother, for she sustained thee. So the prophet's laying out for us the duties of family.
That's right.
And in this chapter, the chapter that we are reviewing tonight, a holy covenant of the Asiatic nation, he speaks now to the entire nation. And he lets us know in this chapter that what nationhood entails. In this chapter, and I've heard many more talk about this chapter many different ways. But let me lay this out. The Father being referenced here is not our ultimate Father, not our Father God alone.
That's right.
That's in our prayer. The Father that's being referenced here is none other than our prophet of Ali.
That's right.
As all prophets are fathers to that particular nation.
That's right.
The mother that's being referenced here is not talking about your biological mother or my biological mother. It's actually talking about the temple.
Come
The
on.
more signs to America is looking to our mother.
That's right.
The breast that's being referenced here is obviously he's not talking about a physical breast. It's talking about our hierarchy. In other words, the sacred literature of people from which we draw our spiritual, our moral, our intellectual, our emotional nourishment.
That's right.
And when it says here, brothers and sisters, it is talking what makes us brothers and sisters is that we all had the same father. And we all had the same mother. And we all sucked from the same breast. That's what makes us brothers and sisters.
That's right.
So when the prophet talks about here, he's speaking to the entire nation. What makes a nation great? And I say that, in the Moore South America, we are particularly blessed because we have a theology, Islamism, that's deeply rooted in our history and our culture. So when you look into the Moore South America, you read the scriptures, there's nothing foreign
That's right.
about this doctrine. Everything about the doctrine of Islamism reflects you, reflects me, reflects us. That's why Prophet Allah says we got to go back to that state of mind for our forefathers, ancient divine peace. That's one of the major reasons why, personally, I joined the Moorish Science America. Prophet Ali says in the Moorish questionnaire, how did he begin to uplift the Moorish Americans? By teaching them to be themselves. That's one of the major reasons why I joined the Moorish Science America, because it allows me me, it permits me to be myself. I don't have to be an Arab.
That's
I
right.
don't have to learn Arabic. I don't have to change the name that my mother and my father gave me. The name my mother and my father gave is a good name, an honorable name. And by preserving that, I honor them. Honor thy father and thy mother. And that days when you home upon the earth plan, which the Lord that God and all have given. I don't have to wear a job bill. I don't have to wear a beard unless that happens to be my particular style.
That's right. That's right.
That's right.
So the Moor Science of America, it had its theology.
Islam.
It's rooted in our history and our culture. And that's what Prophet Ali means when he says, throughout our literature, to worship under your own vine and fig tree. In other words, to worship under the religious creed and doctrine of your forefathers. So the Moor Science of America, our prophet teaches us to drink from our own cups,
That's right.
to see through our own eyes, and to interpret the things that we see through our own mental processes.
That's right.
And it goes back to the writer Chinua Achebe that wrote the book Home in Exile. He said, no man should enter his house through another man's gate.
That's right.
And when I read that, my mind immediately went back to what my prophet said about worshiping under your own vine and fig tree. See, there are many paths
Right.
that lead to Allah.
That's right.
And we, the Moor Science of America, we honor all those various paths.
That's
But
right.
along each path is a vine and fig tree,
right.
from which the traveler must eat.
That's
All
right.
right.
Now, if he follows a path or a road that's foreign to his constitution, foreign to his constitution, the figs on that tree
Won't be so sweet.
will not be so sweet.
That's right.
In fact, will turn sour in his stomach.
That's right.
Islam.
See, in the Moor Science of America, we don't have to worry about that. Because everything about the Moor Science of America, all of its symbols, everything about the Moor Science of America reflects who we were and who we are.
That's right.
Praise the Lord.
So that's a special blessing that we have in the Moor Science of America. That's why I'm personally, I know that you're personally honored to be a part of.
That's
Islam.
right.
That's right.
I don't want to try long, because we have several brothers who no doubt want to delineate and blow out the powerful, powerful principles of this very timely chapter that speaks to the nation. The first brother I like to call up is a dear friend of mine personally, a dear friend of ours,
Islam.
a brother that has struggled a very long time, kept the faith, kept the faith,
Yes.
and that's a mighty blessing there.
Yes.
Strongly having faith in Allah and in His Prophet and in the life-saving program of the Moor Science of America. Our brothers have been in the struggle, and the brother understands nationhood, has a heart as big as his room that we now occupy, and the brother will do this temple and has done this temple
Praise the Lord.
and this movement proud.
Yes,
Praise the
ma'am.
Lord.
So, without ado, I'd like to call up my dear brother and friend, Brother R. Thomas Bay. Son?
Islam.
Now,
Islam.
Yeah, Islam.
It's on.
Comes from the rising of grace, Allah, the great God of the universe. It's not as holy by prophet noble true Ali. It's down to all to whom the chairman has given honor. And I pray that you will forgive me for not having all names in their proper sequence at this point, but by Allah's will, next week I'll know exactly who I'm supposed to give the appropriate honors to. But I know one thing I'm definitely supposed to do is give honor to my dear brother and friend, the Supreme Grand Governor and Grand Governor of the state of Maryland, who is able, by the assistant, my dear brother and friend, Brother C. Davis L., Brother G. Terrell, our Grand Sheik, his assistant Grand Sheik is Sister Mary Brown Bay,
It's on.
and Brother Ed L. I love you more. I don't know what you are, except my friend. Brother Ray, I don't know more. I love you. I know you, my friend. Brother Terrell, same to you.
Islam.
Peace and greetings to each and every one of you.
It's on.
The journey to the discovery of the family that is the Moorish nation has been a long and taxing one. But the promise of Allah is always true. He has promised us a promise that He would not forget those who labor in vain for the approbation.
That's right.
So He delivered unto us this gift of mercy in the name of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. My search for Prophet Noble Drew Ali did not begin in the United States of America. It began when I left the jungles of Vietnam and arrived in Europe and decided that I wanted something a little different for my life. So I attended a Ramadan. And I asked the brothers, because I was with international Muslims. There was a brother from Pakistan, there was a brother from India, there was a brother from Urdu, there was a brother from Ethiopia, there was a brother from Nigeria, there was a brother from Zimbabwe, there was a brother from Turkey. And I'm looking around at all these individual practitioners, and I asked, that's your Islam, that's his Islam, so I asked, where is my Islam?
Come on.
And none of the brothers could provide me an answer that was satisfactory. And I would not find that answer until I came back to what we call the world. And in the world, I discovered this little man named Noble Drew Ali. And I found that he was the first who blew the trumpet on the shores of North America
That's right.
to announce and to raise that flag of Islam long before any other organization said Assalamu alaikum out loud. It was Noble Drew Ali
That's right.
Islam.
who hoisted that flag. It was Noble Drew Ali who opened the book of fire,
Come on.
Islam.
opened the door and said, come and worship under your own vine and fig tree.
That's right.
So tonight we are fortunate to have a chapter like chapter 25.
Right.
Like many people who find themselves in adoptive services, we were much like that same kind of family. Because we didn't know who we were, where we came from, and how we got here.
Islam.
So Noble Drew Ali came to weave a gentle fiber through the spirits that occupied each and every one of us by introducing us to this fine, this wonderful construct called the Moorish Science Temple of America.
That's right.
So he gives us this chapter, 25.
Islam.
And about all the words that are in this chapter, I would urge you to take this one single word that's going to help us get to where we got to go. And that is remember.
Islam.
But you can't remember what you have not learned.
Islam.
So you have to be patient. You have to be diligent.
That's right.
You have to be encouraged and supported and have brothers and friends like what we've had. Because there's no way in the world we could have survived what we survived without this. And then my friend over there, don't think I forgot you, Mo.
Islam.
Don't think I forgot you.
Islam.
It's been a long struggle, and I look
Islam.
forward to getting to know each and every one of you.
Islam.
I'm not going to take up much time this night. I'm still trying to feel the ethers as I step into week number 2 of tasting this wonderful gift called freedom that I would not have been able to appreciate had I not known about this covenant. It's a sacred, binding agreement.
Yes.
That's right,
We
boy.
have to take it to heart. It
Yeah.
just can't be in our mouth. This is not M&M's. It just can't be in your hands and not in your mouth.
Right.
It just can't be in your mouth and not in your hands.
Right, right.
Because the Lord gave us this gift, this thing called a hand. It's a miracle. And He gave it to us to stretch it out to the sisters of our brothers. So we have to be sensitive to our brothers and our sisters. And that's going to take a little time. It's going to take a little time, but we're going to get there.
Yeah, we
We're
will.
going to help each other get there.
Yeah, we will.
Amen.
For those who are yet to discover how I am, allow me to say I'm a team player. I
Islam.
support what is right. I'm the law man, and I'm for the law. And I support the Lord. And to support the Lord, I support you.
Islam.
Islam.
Islam. Islam.
Islam.
Islam.
Islam. It's Islam.
Islam.
And we thank our dear brother and friend for that very timely and enlightening and heartfelt demonstration. Let me say, when we talked about this breast, from which we all draw nourishment from, it is just like, metaphorically speaking, the mother's breast.
That's right.
And we know that the milk secreted from the mammary glands, there is no Similac
That's right.
that can take its place.
Yes,
You know what I'm saying? Because the mother's milk, you know what I'm saying, has certain enzymes in it, certain proteins in it that protects the child from other diseases.
That's right.
So we say, metaphorically speaking, the milk from which we draw nourishment from, our literature,
That's right.
it protects us from all manner of ills.
That's right.
It is our medicine. It is our nourishment. In fact, our Prophet Ali says that his remedies can cure us of anything we were not born with.
That's
That's
right.
right.
And so we say, if a Moor gets sick on any level, and there are many, many levels that a person can get sick on,
That's right.
take your nourishment.
That's right.
Suck from that breast that you receive nourishment from, because our people as a whole, we have been, and I'm talking Garvey now. Remember, Garvey came to purify the minds of our people, all foreign Eurocentric thoughts and ideas.
That's right.
I'm talking about our Prophet Ali when he says in chapter 48, when he calls a pure and clean nation.
That's right.
Obviously, he was not talking genetics there, because we all mixed. You just got to look at us.
Yeah.
We all been genetically mixed. So apparently, he's talking about something else when he calls us a pure and clean nation.
Yes,
We're
sir.
made pure and clean by the law.
That's right, Mo.
This is what makes us pure and clean and pristine once again. So we have to take our nourishment because we have been drawn too much and for too long
With somebody else.
from that foul European breast.
That's right.
Come on, Mo.
And the milk is poison.
Yes.
And that's why we have been so sick in this country and throughout the Moorish diaspora,
That's right.
throughout the entire world, because we're sucking from the wrong breast.
Islam.
We're drinking poison.
Yes.
Prophet Ali comes to remedy that, and he comes to remedy that in our law. When he talks about in Acts 7, the divine constitution bylaws, when he talks about keeping our hearts and minds pure with love, and our bodies clean with water. That again, he's talking about the purification process made so by the law.
Islam.
So, we have a blessing here. And I'm going to call the next brother to further the message, talk about this great holy covenant, this solemn binding agreement
Islam.
between Allah, the prophet, and us, the Moors. Islam?
Islam.
I'd like to call up a dear brother and friend, your friend of mine, good, sharp, studious brother. Always got idea. I call him Mo the idea brother, idea man. Mo always got an idea. I mean, because he's doing what our prophet said to do. He said, Mo, if I can just get you to think, you will what? You will save yourself.
Islam.
So I'd like to call up our dear brother and our dear friend to further message of love, truth, peace, and justice. This is our brother and friend for the all-womanly elf. Psalm?
Islam.
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 Psalm?
Islam. Islam.
Islam.
Islam.
Islam. Islam.
Islam?
Islam.
Islam?
Islam.
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 I let the rise give all perfect praise to Allah. I extend honors to our beloved Prophet, our brother, and our friend, Prophet Noble Ali. I extend honors to the forerunner of the Prophet, Brother Marcus Mozart Garvey, who came demonstrating in the Lion's Roar. Up to the mighty race, you can accomplish what you will. I give honors to all officials of the Moorish Science Temple of America, past, present, and those to come. I extend honors to the sheiks and the sheikhs of this temple. I extend a special honors to the sisters.
Islam.
Islam.
I honor them because if you define greatness as the ability to endure more pain and indignity than anyone else
Islam.
and still function, then our women Moorish women
Yeah, come on.
must be the greatest women on earth.
Come on.
Islam.
And they should be declared queen of the earth.
Islam.
That's right, Mom.
Islam?
Islam.
I'd like to read from page 3 from our Moorish Holy Quran, Holy Quran of Moorish Science Temple of America, chapter 7, divine path by the noble prophet, Drew Ali, by the guidance of his Father God, Allah, the great God of the universe, to redeem man from the sinful and fallen stage of humanity, back to the highest plane of life with his Father God, Allah. Dear readers, do not falsely use these lessons. They are for good peace and happiness for all those that love Jesus. The lessons of this pamphlet are not for sale, but for the sake of humanity, as I am a prophet, and the servant is worthy of his hire, you can receive this pamphlet at expense.
Islam.
Islam?
Islam.
I'd like to read from the chapter for the night, chapter 25.
Yes.
A holy covenant of the Asiatic nation. Being that this is a short chapter, I'll read it in its entirety.
Islam.
Ye are the children of one father provided for by his care, and the breast of one mother hath given you suck. Let the bonds of affection therefore unite thee with thy brother, that peace and happiness may dwell in thy father's house. And when you separate in the world, remember the relation that bindeth you to love and unity. And prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. If thy brother is in adversity, assist him. If thy sister is in trouble, forsake him not. So shall the fortunes of thy father contribute to the support of his whole race, and his care be continued to you all in your love to each other. Islam?
Islam.
Islam, boys.
Islam.
Indeed, it's an honor to stand before you brothers and sisters, the sheiks and sheikesses, and demonstrating what Allah has blessed me with.
Islam.
A covenant is a binding agreement between two entities. A holy covenant is a divine agreement, a God-inspiring agreement.
Islam.
Therefore, this holy covenant is a divine agreement, a God-inspired agreement between Allah, our prophet,
That's right.
and us.
That's right.
Islam.
Yes, it is.
Islam?
Islam.
Yes, it is.
That's right.
We as a clean and pure nation, as the prophet says, as our chairman pointed out, we are connected by this holy and divine covenant, man.
Indeed we are.
Islam.
There you go.
Come on.
The prophet instructs us, when you separate in the world, remember the relation that bindeth you
Come on.
to love and unity.
That's right.
And prefer not a stranger before thy own blood, man.
Islam.
Islam.
You see,
Islam.
we have to come to terms. We have to begin to understand that this covenant is very important to the unity
Come on.
of the Moorish American Muslims.
Yes, it is.
Islam.
We have to begin to come together on those things that we hold in common and stop focusing on our differences, man.
Yes. Come on.
Because so long as we have a soul, so long as we think, reason, will, and understand differently, we will always have differences of opinions.
That's right. That's right.
But that's not to say, man, that we need to be hindered by those differences.
That's right. No doubt.
That's right.
Remember the relation that bindeth you to love and unity.
Islam.
We are our brother's keepers.
That's
Islam.
right.
We are our sisters' keepers, man.
Islam.
Yes, we are.
If you see them in adversity, assist them.
That's right, Mo.
If you see them in trouble, forsake them not.
That's right.
If you see me
Islam.
straying from the path, the Suwista Masakim that Allah has laid out for me,
Come on.
Islam.
I am in adversity.
Islam.
Indeed.
That's right, Bo.
If you see me
That's right.
neglecting my present concerns,
That's right. Come on.
I'm in adversity.
That's right. That's right.
Islam.
If you see me neglecting my spiritual lessons, I'm in adversity.
That's
That's
right.
right. It's
Assist me.
That's right.
Islam.
And if you do not,
Islam.
Yeah.
if you see me going through these trials and tribulations and you don't extend your hand to me,
Yeah.
you can't rightfully say that you are my brother or my sister.
How about that?
Islam.
How about that?
Islam.
That is not friend.
Islam. Yeah, Islam.
Islam,
Islam.
How about that?
this is a serious chapter.
Yes,
It
it is.
is.
The situation, man, that we find ourselves in today can't be any more serious than what it is.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's what we need to do. We need to get serious.
Yeah. Yeah.
I read this book called Why Should White Guys Have All the Fun?
Yeah, my man.
Islam.
Reggie.
Written by Reginald Lewis.
That's right.
And most of you older Baltimoreans should know this brother. You know, he got a museum in honor of him down on President
That's
Street.
right.
You know, he bought this company called Beatrice International.
That's right.
It's like billionaire.
Yeah.
That's right.
You know, now in the books he talked about a deal he put together before Beatrice, a company called the McCall Patent Company.
Right.
That's right. That's
He
right.
bought it distressed and he turned it around and sold it for a net personal profit of $75 million.
So,
Now, we're talking about during the mid-'80s,
right,
Yeah.
right.
you know? So during that time, there was a big deal.
That's right.
There was a lot of money.
Floating
You know,
around. That's
so big, in fact, that some of his friends called to congratulate him.
That's right.
One of them was this guy called Mike Milken.
That's right.
Indeed.
That's right, Mo.
Right.
That's exactly who it was.
Sharp European.
Yeah.
Tip my hat to him. You know, they called him the junk bond king.
That's right.
Call him.
Yeah, the darling of Wall Street.
Right.
Yeah, him and Reggie was thick of thieves. He told Reggie, he said, man, he said, I like what you did with that deal, man. That was a good deal you put together. He said, but Reggie, it's time to get serious, man.
That's right.
And Reggie said he didn't respond right away to that. He said when he hung up the phone,
That's
he
right.
told his wife about that.
No, you
He
weren't
said, man, what's this Chuck talking about? This time to get serious.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right.
I just put together one of the biggest deals of the year. I made $75 million. How much more serious can you get?
Islam.
A whole lot.
He went on to say that a few days later, he found out that Mike Milken had made for that year $550 million. He said, now I understand what he meant
It's on.
when he said it's time to get serious.
That's right.
It's on.
I have adopted that mantra.
It's
That's
on.
right. That's
It's
right,
on.
Mo.
And I say to you now,
It's on.
That's right.
it's time to get serious.
That's right.
Indeed.
I like that, Mo.
Islam,
Islam.
peace, Moors.
Islam.
It's on.
Hit that nail on the head.
Indeed. It's on.
Islam.
I mean, as we often say, if the serious situation demands a serious response. There ain't no question about that, Mo. It's time for us as a people, Mo, to think nationhood.
Islam.
Because we talking about power.
Islam.
The power that Prophet Ali references several times
Yeah.
in our Moorish literature. Power emerges from group unity,
That's right.
concerted efforts, shared goals, cooperative economics, and a singular vision.
That's right.
5 things. That's where power emerges. And I'm not talking about derived power. I'm talking about viable power
That's
that can
right.
stand on its own.
Islam.
That's the power that Prophet Ali is trying to get us to come into.
That's right.
That's why he mentions it so many times throughout our Moorish literature.
That's right.
That's the same power that Marcus Garvey made reference to several times in Life Lessons and the Philosophy and Opinions of Brother Marcus Garvey.
That's right.
But we can't do this until we first think about nationhood,
That's right, Mo.
peoplehood, see? Holy covenant. See, when you talk about, I'm glad that William L. made a distinction between a covenant and a holy covenant. So when you think about holy covenant, you'll think about something, man, divine.
Right.
Something sacred, something inviolate, man.
Yes, right.
Something's what God inspired,
Yes.
man. Ancestors.
Yes.
So that's what actually gives you the extra impetus to go and do and say what needs to be done,
Yeah.
said, and done.
Yeah.
from God.
Islam.
And even though you can't see, you may not be able to see the thing at the time because you know that you're moving in God's path. You know that as you move, doors are just going to open.
Islam.
And as you move, steps are going to appear. That's faith.
That's right, Bo.
But again, what we have here is this holy covenant.
Yes.
And we have to understand the blessing that we have. Brother Woodby spoke about separating. We separate into the world.
Remember that.
We got to remember, as Brother Thomas Bay said, that one word. Remember the relation that binds us all. We all share the same history. Our ancestors went through the exact same, just atrocious catastrophe when the Moorish Empire fell. So we all suffered from the same thing, and we still suffer from the residual effects. So we are in every way one people.
Islam.
And we should never forget that fact. And let us all come together and unite under this flag. That's why it's the Moorish flag.
That's right.
Not the Moorish American flag, the Moorish flag. All of our people can come up under that flag.
That's right.
Islam.
From wherever they hail from.
Islam.
So let us remember that, Moors.
Islam.
Let us always do what we can do to get our blessings.
Islam.
Let us always do what we can do, Moors.
That's right.
We talk about the blessings, we talk about the blessings from on high, from Allah.
Yes, indeed.
So we had to first be obedient. I'd like to call the next brother to further the message of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. We often say that the protection of a thing, the value of a thing is the only word of protection that you place upon it.
That's right, Bo.
And everything
That's right.
that's valuable needs to be protected because it's vulnerable.
That's right.
Yes.
So
Praise be to
we
Allah.
got to have security in the nation.
That's
Right,
right.
Bo.
And so the brother that we're about ready to hear from is our Supreme Grand Security Advisor, my brother, my friend, your friend, Brother J. Barnes Bay. Son?
Islam.
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 How the Moors feel?
All feel great.
Don't sound too good to me.
Wonderful.
All feel
How the
great.
Moors feel?
All feel great.
Great, Mo. We here to praise the Lord.
Yes,
we are.
Now we get up in here. How the Moors feel?
All great.
Great.
Praise be to Allah.
Islam, having already risen, praising Allah. Honor to the Prophet Noble Ali, a man who came for the downtrodden, the sinners, those that was cast away and threw away. Allah blessed us in such a way that He sent us the divine intervention to save us from ourselves.
Islam.
I give honor to the Prophet's forerunner, one who came before yet to pave the way. One who set the minds of our people on the path so they could receive the message that the prophet would bring. Brother Marcus Moses God. I extend honor to our first Supreme Grand Chief, Brother E. Mizdil, and to our present Supreme Grand Chief, Brother D. Bailey here. I give honor to our Supreme Grand Governor, Brother R. Wazir. I give honor to our Supreme Historian, Brother D. Eddington Hill. I give honor to my Grand Sheik, Brother G. Turner Hill, and his assistant, Sister M. Murray Bay. I give honor to our chairman, Brother N. Chambers Hill. I give honor to my friend and brother, one who I'm very happy and delighted to see on this side of the wall,
It's all.
Brother R. Thomas Bay.
It's all.
Islam.
For many years in the 80s, we used to sit on the T and talk,
Islam.
walk the yard and talk. Never did neither one of us think that we would see ourselves on this side of the fence.
Islam.
You know, they say you see light at the tunnel. At that time, there was no tunnel or light
That's right, Bo.
to be seen.
Islam.
But truly Allah blessed us in such a way that He allowed us
Yes.
to gain our freedom.
Islam.
See, we was placed there because when we was out here before, we didn't want to listen. We couldn't hear. So He placed us somewhere that would make us listen, would make us obey His instruction.
Islam.
And I give honor to each and every one of you here today, because you could have been someplace else doing something else.
Islam.
As it is a custom that we read from our Holy Quran, the Lord Science Temple, miraculously divinely prepared by the Prophet Noble Jurali, by the guide of his Father, God and law. It says, page 3. Dear fathers, by these lessons you can set your house in order. Islam. Tonight we're dealing with a chapter that is so dynamic, a chapter that is so strong, a chapter that if you follow this chapter, you can't go wrong. Oftentimes we begin to look at the covenant. We say, yeah, we got chapter 25, but do we really understand what chapter 25 is saying? Do we really take chapter 25 seriously? Now we know that there is no accidents or coincidence. Is it amazing that chapter 25, when you add it up, is 7? And we know what 7 is. 7 is the number for perfect man. This chapter demonstrates to us that in order to be a brother or a sister, right, first we have to be friends. Yet for so often, we don't understand the true definition of friends. Because the moment you get mad with me, you ain't my friend no more. That's not a friend.
That's right. That's right.
That's not a friend. See, a friend is one going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear.
That's right.
And we understand that sometimes the truth hurts. Sometimes we can't accept the truth because it hurts so much. You know. So what we do, instead of telling you the truth, I give you flattery. You ain't my friend when you do that. Because if we say that we are going to follow the covenant that the prophet brought us, then you should want for me what you want for yourself. The brother said, get serious. We have been in this movement for a long time. And yet we still see things ain't going right. We still see that there are several disputes among us. There are several misunderstandings among us. First we have to do this here. We have to follow the prophet's footsteps like it is. See, we no longer can we get up here and debate the issue about the prophet. The prophet said it like it was, and we have to follow him the way that he said it. We can't say that, well, he meant to say this, and he meant to say that. No. Because we know that everything that the prophet said and done and wrote was ordained by Allah to be that way.
That's right.
So if you say that you're going to change that, then you're saying that Allah, God, is wrong. He made a mistake. Now you're putting human qualities on him. And that's a sin. That's a sin. It said when you separate into the world, remember the relationship that bindeth you. And we know that oftentimes we'll leave out that door. But do we call one another? Do we inquire how you doing today? How things going today? Do you need a ride? Is everything going all right in your family? See, we forget about that part of it. Only when it's questionable, then we say, oh, I meant to call him. Well, I meant to call her. No, that should be an everyday thing because we know that Islam is a way of life. Not just something we practice on Sunday and Friday. You're supposed to walk this, talk this, eat this, live this. This is supposed to be just like your name. The way that you deal with this. This is how we have to get serious about what we do. We don't have a whole lot of time to run around like we did in the 20s, debating about signs and symbols and that old crazy stuff. See, now it's time to get down to work. We got kids, we got children being killed in the street for lack
New Jersey, Fort
Yeah.
That was